some ramps down to the top of this place. Oh, we could zoop those. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. That means we don't actually have to put the squares underneath them. That is fan-frickin-tastic, man. Woot! Welcome back, my friends, to Satisfactory. I'm an old guy gaming, and in this episode, we're going to get our factory floor in place. And if all goes well, our biofuel production line going. So yeah, really excited. Let's jump in and get started. So if you guys watched the last episode, you know that we unlocked the milestone that we need for the foundations. In terms of the next milestone, however, I want to go to Tier 2 and obstacle clearing. And let's select that right away. Now, we don't have a screw production line going, and I'm not even going to bother doing that while we're still down here on the ground. So I'm going to just make these items really quick in the crafting bench, just so we can get it done, because we're going to need to then collect a lot of biofuel for our biofuel factory. So let's get working on that first, and then we're going to get started with putting the floors in place. Okay, so we have 500 screws. You know, another thing you can do too, I don't think I showed you guys this, you can preload some of this stuff. You don't have to do it all at once. So I can put the screws and the concrete in right now, and I can even put 5 of my cables in now. Let's go back to our cable production area and see if it is, you know, how many cables we've produced so far. I have let the game run for about 20 minutes. Just AFK, basically. So we should have some cable. Oh, yeah, look at that. We got lots of cables. Okay, so let's grab that stack of cables. Now, one thing you're going to be doing a lot with Satisfactory is you are going to be AFKing quite a bit, just because you got to give your factories time to produce this stuff that you need it to produce. So, you know, the deeper you get into it, the more that's going to happen. So that's just kind of a normal part of playing this game. There we go. Obstacle clearing is done. That's going to get us a chainsaw, which we're going to then be able to gather a lot of biomass for our upcoming biofactory.
Foliage that consists primarily of wood. Additionally, R&D inflated your pocket dimension.
Okay. Yeah, so she basically just said the same thing there. I should have shut up so you guys could hear her, but she was basically saying you can now use a chainsaw to get lots of wood so you can make lots of biofuel. All right, guys, let's get started with our factory floor. Very excited to do this. So most people that build factories in this game that I've seen build off the ground for 2 reasons. One, you know, the ground's got clutter on it. It's not usually you know, perfectly level. Even as good of a spot as this is, this ground's not perfectly level either. And you know, when you get a floor down, you know, then you have a nice neat tiles rather, that you can set stuff up nice and straight and lay things out. So that is what the deal is with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to let's actually select our next milestone. Oh, you know what? We can't. Can we? Yeah, we can. Okay. We can select the next milestone, but we can't actually, you know, let's say we had all this stuff right now. We can't achieve the next milestone until the space pod comes back down for the next load, but it usually only takes a few minutes. It doesn't take that long for it to get back down here. That being said, though, let's go ahead and actually select our next milestone now. Just get that done. So this, we might actually do field research next, because then we can create some more storage boxes, which we need. On the other hand, we can also just use the actual storage unit, so that's not super important the more I think about it. The MAM is the most important thing there that we're going to need. But parts assembly would allow us to make the modular frame to go get that that hard drive. Resource sink is going to come in handy. Logistics 2 is going to come in handy. I think, though, this is going to require some more stuff, but I mean, we got to do it eventually, and we can make this manually. So yeah, let's go ahead and queue this one up next. But it's going to be a little while before we're actually ready to do it. Very good. Let's go into the queue menu. Let's go to foundations. So we have foundations and walls here. And the milestone gives you just, your real basic walls, but later on we're going to be able to access much more fancier walls, and using the... Oh, I can't remember what the new tool is that they added in Update 5. That's going to allow us to also do some really fun stuff later on. Okay, so in the foundations menu, we basically have 1 meter, 2 meter, and 4 meter foundations. These are all the same surface size. It's just height differences, and I believe they all cost the same amount. Wait, do they? Yeah, 5 and 2, 5 and 2, 5 and 2, which makes no sense, but whatever. They all cost the same amount. And then these are a couple of different ramps that would go with those foundations, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to select... I kind of like the 4 meter foundations in a lot of situations. So let's select those. Okay. Now, there's a couple of really cool new things that are in Update 5. So let me cancel that for a second. The first thing I need to do is I need to figure out, we're going to make a ramp to get up to our platform, at least initially. And so I have to figure out where I want that to be. I kind of want it to be where the hub is, actually. But the nice thing about this game, as you guys now know, is, you're never permanently stuck with what you've set down, because you can always move stuff around, rearrange it, and that kind of thing later. I'm not quite ready to do that yet with the hub, though, just because it's running 2 of our 3 power plants for everything else that we're doing. So I want to just give this a little bit of thought on how we're going to actually make this work. We don't necessarily... Well, actually, now that I think about it, we have kind of an opening here, which could later, actually turn out to be a road for us to travel along. So maybe we'll set up our initial ramp kind of on what I guess is the southeast corner of our platform. So I think that's what we're going to do. All right, so that being said, a new feature of the game. Oh, I was going to do one other thing. Let's go into the Q menu. I want to take the 4 meter foundation, and I'm going to hit 7 to add it to our toolbar. Let's hit 8 to add the 2 meter foundation, and let's hit 9 to add the 4 meter ramp for now, just so we have quick access. All right, now if we hit press 7 and bring this out, the first thing you'll notice is that by default it is facing north, and that's exactly what we want it to do. We want things to go in the cardinal directions. That being said, though, we are going to have this kind of cliff face here that we're going to have to contend with later on. So we want this foundation, as we build it up, we don't want it to clip into the cliff. I mean, it can. The game doesn't care, but I care. It's kind of an aesthetic thing. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of eyeball it here, more or less in that spot. And then I'm going to back up and try and stay... Actually, I should keep my character actually facing north, too, the more I think about this, too. So let's go back over here for a second and just, raise it up a little bit. Make sure we're facing north, and then point it back down, and then back straight up while we continue to face north. And then we're going to back up all the way to as far as we can go until we run into something. Okay, we just bumped into something right there. All right, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually switch to 9 to the ramp. I'm going to turn the ramp around so it's facing north. And let's start it right here. Hold on just one second. Okay. We'll talk about Zoop in a minute. Yeah, okay, so I think I want it to go right here. And we can get this stuff out of the way. So I think, later on, when we have like our tractor, for example, if we're out doing stuff, we can drive back down this road. We should be able to come right here and then head right on up the ramp. So I think this is good. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to put a foundation there. And then we're basically just going to switch back and forth between the foundation and the ramp as we build this up. Okay, so we just have to kind of get in place here. We turn it with our mouse wheel. And then we can just start walking up this. We'll switch back to here. And if we just kind of move our cursor down close to the lip of this, then the game knows, oh, we want to attach it to here. So it makes it pretty easy. Okay, let's switch to the ramp. For some reason, though, it doesn't keep the ramp going the same direction. I'm not sure why. And in terms of how high we want this to go, we basically need to be able to clear, or I want to be able to clear our miners. I'm not worried about the hub so much because the hub we're going to actually pick up and put on top of the factory floor once we have a spot for it. But it's the miners that we have to be, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think we have to be at least 7 blocks high. In fact, you know what we could do? Let's actually run over there for a second, and we can confirm that. But if I remember right, I think it's 7 blocks high, but let's just do this. Let's start a new block here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna enter a new mode. So if you look in the middle of my screen, notice it says build mode default, which is basically like it's always been. And what that means is you have to build one foundation at a time. So we build that one. And then we build another one on top, then we build another one, etc., etc. Okay? But there's a new building mode, which is really awesome in 5. So I'm going to press F. Now, when I'm in dismantle mode, if I hold down Control, I can select up to 50 blocks at the same time and dismantle all of them. Super useful when you have to take down large, areas of your base to redo something. All right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to 7 to get into build mode. And if we press the... which one is it? Oh, R. If we press R, or hold R down, notice we have vertical, default, and Zoop. And I think vertical must be the vertical version of Zoop, I think. So what that means now is we click and hold the mouse button down, and then we can build all the way up. Okay, so we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we can build all 7 at a time. That is so useful. Those of you who are new to this game, you probably don't necessarily appreciate how useful that is. But those of you who have been built in earlier versions of the game, that is just one of the best things they've added. They've added a lot of cool things in 5, but that's one of them. Okay, so we are now 7 foundations high. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to 7. Hit 7 to get into build mode, and we're gonna we're gonna hold down R, and now we're gonna change to Zoop mode. Now Zoop mode is basically the same thing, but it's horizontal. And what I want to do is I want to see if I can, if I have clearance on our miner, which we do. If I try 6, see how it says overlapping clearance, and I guess what this is another, I think, new feature. It used to just not let you build it, but now it looks like we can build it, and it'll just let us clip right into the object. Very interesting. I didn't even know that was in the update. That's cool. Because sometimes, you don't care. It'll make sense for you to clip into something. Oh, I like that. Okay, anyways, we confirm. So we need to be 7 blocks high to have full clearance of our miners down below. Now, the other thing to take into account, too, is the terrain in the area. We are very lucky to have, terrain that's pretty level overall. So 7 blocks should be fine for any miners that we set up in this immediate area under our factory floor. Now, anything that's outside of the factory floor, it doesn't matter, of course, but it does matter in this particular area. Okay, that's cool. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to F. We're going to hold down the control key, and we're going to select all of this stuff, and we're going to dismantle it. Boom, and it's gone. And then we'll just hit that one too. I wanted to be careful not to accidentally hit that. Now, and you know, that brings up an important point. When you are doing that multiple select delete thing, be really careful when you have a lot of stuff in the area, because sometimes you'll accidentally select something you didn't want to, you delete it, and then it's like, oh no, I got to redo all that kind of thing. Okay. There is no SI in this game, in case you were wondering. So there, we covered that too. So we need to go 7 blocks high. So here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go, I'm going to add one of these here. Yeah, let's add it to here. So let's see, we are, okay, so this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, let's build that to there. And now let's, are we still in Zoop? So that would be 2, no, we have to be in vertical, not Zoop. Okay, so we're going to hold down R, we're going to go to vertical, and then we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we went 1 too high. No problem. We hit F. We removed the top one. We don't need any of this stuff now. This was just to measure it out. There's another way I could have done that, and I'll talk about that in a second. Hold down Control, just select all these bottom ones, and get rid of them. Okay. So now what we can do is we can just build the ramp down from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 9 for the ramp, 7 for the piece underneath, 9 for the ramp. Make sure it's turned the right way. 7 for the piece underneath, etc., etc., until we get it built all the way down. Now, here's another new thing. If I hold tab down, I'm sorry, not tab. I think it was E. Let me see. Yeah, if I hold E down, I can quickly switch to the other types of ramps that are available to me. Okay. But a new thing that they've done is if you just tap E, it quickly switches. So that is also new to update 5. They have really added some cool stuff in this update, you guys. It's just amazing. Okay, so let's go back to 7. Put that in place. And then we'll go back to 9. Put our ramp in place. And just so things are nice and even all the way across the board, we're going to put this one in too. There we go. Now we have our ramp leading up to our factory, what's going to be our factory floor. Let me double check this and make sure it's correct before we really commit to this. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are 7 up. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. We are cruising along. Now, here's something else that's new in 5. Mr. Balloon Guy's not new. Get out of here. Get out of here. If we want to attach another factory floor in another location, let's see. No, let me rephrase this. So we're going to set up a factory floor here, right? And on this factory floor, we're going to have our iron production, our biofuel production, our copper production, and our concrete. But later on, as we start to expand, we're going to create different factory floors further out. But we always want that to line up perfectly with our original one, or at least I do, and most people do. So the way you used to have to do that is you had to actually lay down foundations all the way to the new location, and then you know, to use that as a guide. But you no longer have to do that because we have now what's called a universal grid. All right, so if I hold down 7 and then I hold left Control, now it's going to snap. And even if I put this block all the way over here and build it there, it's still going to be perfectly aligned with that structure over there. And I didn't have to take the time to run a big row this way and then another row this way just to make sure it's lined up. So that's called the universal, or no, I'm sorry, the global grid, I think it's called. And it's just another wonderful thing that they've done here in Update 5. Okay, so we got that covered. Now it's time, guys, to go to town on building our floor. So if you haven't already noticed this, we need both plates and concrete to build the floor. And we're going to start going through a shit ton of concrete and plates. So what we're going to do is going to go in here. We're going to grab all the concrete that we currently have. And it looks like our production's down, and it's probably because, again, we're out of fuel. Yeah, we finally used up all of our flowers, which is fine because that's what I wanted to do. And now we're going to throw biofuel in here. Let's grab some biofuel out of here. We'll grab some for the others too and just top them off. Okay, so let's click that in there. Click this in here. And top this one off as well. That'll keep us going for a while. But remember, the very first thing we're going to do once we get the platform set up is we're going to actually build ourselves a biofuel production line. It's going to be beautiful. Let's put a couple things in here that we don't currently need. We'll sort that. We'll put the screws in there, the flowers, and the leaves. We'll just keep the rest of this in our inventory for the moment. All right, so we have all the concrete that we currently have made up. We're going to run over here and grab as many plates as we currently have, because we're going to burn through this quickly. Awesome sauceum. Okay, let's head up our ramp here. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start... I think we're going to start building out that way and then even back over around this way too. So, yeah, all right. Let's grab or press 7. We're going to hold down R and make sure we're in Zoop mode because this is all going to be vertical. And then we're going to click and hold the mouse button down and... Oh, that was a mistake. Notice it says property damage when you get damaged. It's like Fix-It doesn't give a shit about your body. You just damaged their suit. It's hilarious. Okay. So we're going to zoop out to here. But obviously, again, we don't want to clip into that cliff. So we're going to bring the zoop back. Let's bring it back to here. I love that. Okay, cool. Now, again, the game doesn't require us to have supports. I kind of like to do it for realism, but on the other hand, this is a space-age game, so we're just going to pretend that these are anti-gravity platforms and leave it at that, okay? Let's not go there. The reason I don't want to go there, guys, is because, we're going to eventually have to start building out over this huge canyon here, and it's just going to be not practical for us to have support. So yeah, these are anti-gravity foundations. Just go with it and work with me here, okay? All right, so now let's zoop out to actually... Yeah, if we zoop 7 back, or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, let's zoop 7 back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. That lines us up to there. And then we're going to zoop back to our ramp over to here. Like so. And then we're going to zoop. Will you get the hell out of here, man? You're such a pain in the ass. Then we're going to zoop to here. Perfect. Okay. Now, I wonder if we can zoop to fill in like an entire plane like you can do in Empyrean. I don't know. Let's see. Is it possible to like hold control down? Oh no, control makes it disappear. Okay, it looks like we still have to do one row at a time, but that's okay. We can handle that. This is still way better than it used to be. Okay, that's yellow because it's actually clipping, I think, into our... well, it's obstructing our launch pod. But that's not going to be a problem ultimately because here again we're gonna move the hub up here. There we go. Beautiful. I wonder, though, if it'll actually still let the pod launch. Not actually sure about that. Now, if we wanted to, we could actually build a ramp down to this road, too. That... Yeah, let's look at that. Let's go over to the first ramp too. I don't think we can. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to leave this ramp the way that it is. Unless we are willing to, I'm kind of thinking out loud here for a second. We bring this over here, and then I guess we could clip it into there. I mean, it's not going to be that big of a deal, right? That would just allow us to move the ramp over one more and give us a little more space up here. But the other thing I was, that I'm thinking about, though, is could we get the ramp to go down into there? So we can push it further back, and give ourselves more room up here. All right, well, I'll tell you what we could do here. Let's try something. If we brought the ramp up through here, let's zoop that out to there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go this way. Yeah, I think this is going to be tough to do just because of the way the terrain is. But we might be able to... I want to try something. So we're gonna hit this ramp here, turn it around this way. Hold down Control so it's on the universal grid, or the global grid, I mean. And we want it to go... That would be 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try something different here. If we... One thing about this game, you guys, at least for me, I'm very much a kind of make it up as you go kind of builder in these games. And so there's a lot of, okay, I got to stop and think about this moments, especially in this game. So what we might be able to do here is we might be able to ramp down to this and then ramp down there. I don't know. The problem is that that's a really narrow roadway. We have a lot more room over on this side to work with. And actually, speaking of this side, in fact, I think we have enough room to do a whole nother section. Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's zoop this. So we're going to go 7. We're going to zoop this to here. And yeah, we can do a ramp straight down there. So that's going to work perfect on this side. So maybe what we'll do is we'll make this side our main access to start with. And then, once I kind of get the biofactory up and running, we could go down there with the chainsaw and cut a bunch of this, at least in this area, away to clear that, and then maybe see if we can come up with some kind of a ramp setup that'll go down there. and eliminate all of this, because this is taking up all that room that we could, you know, otherwise be using as space. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you guys. It makes sense to me, but you know, for the most part, as we're going along doing this Let's Play, I'm going to cut the camera on those. Okay, I got to stop and think about those moments, unless it's something that, you know, I want to kind of talk you guys through. But it won't always be that way, right? Let's grab some more. Can we grab these berries? Yeah. Nice. We'll have to figure out how to tame Doggo, too. So what I might do for the moment is, let's just run some ramps down to the top of this place. Oh, we could zoop those. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. That means we don't actually have to put the squares underneath them. That is fan-frickin-tastic, man. Woot! Okay, even better. Man, I'm loving Update 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and press F. Let's hold down Control and, whoops. Yeah, hold down Control, select all this, and delete it. And then we'll also select our stair steps. Wow, you can zoop the ramps now. That is amazing. That is amazing. Okay, we also don't need this part anymore. So let's select all those. No, not the top one. And we'll just replace it. Cool. Okay, let's go to 7, and we're going to fill this in. Whoever came up with Zoop, man, that person needs a frickin' award, man. Game Developer of the Year award. Okay, so we could certainly drive down to here in our tractor when the time comes. Yeah, you know what? We're good. We're actually good, you guys. We have a natural ramp here for the rest of the way up, so we're going to keep that exactly the way it is. Like I said, I'm going to clear all this crap out of the way later for our biofuel. The only other question, though, is rather than have that there, could we instead put it on the end? Let's just kind of clear some of this. Well, the problem with that, though, is we're going to still have this kind of big rut here, which will make our ramp a little bit weird. Probably not going to be a problem for the tractor, but you know what? Let's leave it the way it is. Let's just leave it the way it is. Okay. Now, we're going to come over to here. Actually, it'll probably be easier if we do this from down below. Get some more berries there. All right, let's just zoop a ramp from here on down. So we're going to do 9. Make sure it's pointing in the right direction. And zoopity-doo right down to the ground. Oh, man, I love that. That is so useful. So useful. Okay, we need to do one more ramp here. If we hold control, it should... Ooh. Well, that's interesting. This is not good. Because it means that I didn't start... Wait a minute. What the hell's going on here? Why is that ramp wider than this one? Oh. Yeah, that's why. Okay. Yeah. All right, you know what's probably going to be easier? Well, here. Let me try this one more time. If I hold down control to get this to snap on the universal grid. I'm a little bit concerned that I might have screwed this. No, I don't think I did. Here, I'm going to try something. Let's go... Let's universal grid this here for a second. And then let's zoop it to here. Okay, I did screw this up. I didn't use the universal grid to start the platform. I just set it down, and as you can see, it's all messed up now. This is only a problem, though, if we want any new platforms that we make to ultimately line up with the first platform. Okay. So guys, and I do because it's just going to, ultimately make everything look good. Here's an example of why this could be a problem, more for aesthetic reasons than anything else. Let's say that later on, we're going to build a new platform like way across the canyon there. And so I'm going to want to build a road or a bridge, if you will, to it. But the problem is if that building is not perfectly lined up with this one, then our bridge is going to start off, kind of offset a little bit. And it's just going to look dumb and it's going to bug the hell out of me. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end the episode here because we're already 36 minutes into this sucker. And I'm going to take this all back down and redo it in the same fashion, but based off of the universal grid. So when you guys come back in the next episode, it's going to pretty much, as far as you're concerned, it's going to look exactly the same as it does now, but it's going to be lined up on the global grid. I don't know why I keep saying universal. It's the global, the global grid. Well, global, universal, they're kind of interchangeable a little bit. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And, so, and again, this is going to be super easy to redo. It's not going to take as long as you might think, because a lot of the time that it took for us to do all this was me trying to figure it out. Now we know exactly what to do, so we're just going to pretty much zoop it back into place. And so, we can just hold down Control and select up to 100 blocks and take them out and redo it. So it's not going to take me long to do that at all. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to let you go here. This took a little longer than I thought it was going to, but that's usually the way things work for me anyway. And I'm going to redo this off camera, get it all set back up the way it is, and then in the next episode, the plan's going to be for us to set up our biofuel factory. So hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. I am thoroughly enjoying Update 5. I mean, just thrilled to play it. It's so fun. And again, like I said, I hope you guys are enjoying watching. One other thing to keep in mind, too, I am recording several of these first episodes back to back, which means I'm not going to see your comments, until we get a little ways into this. So just keep that in mind. But do leave comments. Give me tips, tricks, that sort of thing. And I appreciate that. And we'll just keep having fun in this game. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.